In today's video, we'll be going through some practice questions for the Certified Ethical Hacker Certification exam. Question 1. Tony is a penetration tester tasked with performing a penetration test. After gaining initial access to a target system, he finds a list of hashed passwords. Which of the following tools would not be useful for cracking the hashed password? A. Hashcat. B. John the Ripper. C. CHC Hydra. D. Netcat. Hashcat is a very popular password cracking tool that is specially designed to crack hashed passwords. It supports a wide range of hashing algorithms and it is highly effective in brute force attacks or using word lists to crack passwords. John the Ripper is also a well-known password cracking tool that is used for cracking hashed passwords. It supports various hash algorithms and it can be used in a similar way to Hashcat to attempt to crack password hashes. CHC Hydra is also a password cracking tool and it is used primarily for online brute force attacks such as cracking login credentials using protocols like HTTP, FTP, and SSH. Now, while it is not specifically designed for cracking offline password hashes, it is sometimes used for online credential cracking. Netcat is a networking utility that is used for reading and writing data across network connections, but it is not a password cracking tool and it would not be useful for cracking hashed passwords. So with respect to the question which asked which of the tools would not be useful for cracking hashed passwords, our answer is option D, Netcat. Netcat is used for network communication tasks like creating network connections, transferring data, or setting up listeners, but it is not used for cracking hashes. Question 2. You are a penetration tester testing the user awareness of the employees of the client, Diamond Global. You harvested 2 employees' emails from some public sources and are creating a client-side backdoor to send it to the employees via email. Which stage of the cyber kill chain are you at? A. Reconnaissance. B. Weaponization. C. Command and control. D. Exploitation. Reconnaissance is the first stage where the attacker gathers information about the targets, such as the employee emails, organizational structure, and any other publicly available detail. In the scenario we have here, the penetration tester already harvested the employee emails, so the reconnaissance phase is already complete. In option B, weaponization is the stage where the attacker creates a weaponized payload. So in the scenario we have here, you're creating a client-side backdoor to send via email to the employees. This involves packaging the malicious code or exploits with a delivery method, and in this scenario, it is going to be delivered through an email attachment. So the weaponization stage is where you design or prepare the exploits, which matches the description in the question. Now let's take a look at the other options. Command and control. After the weapon is delivered and the exploit is executed, the attacker establishes a command and control channel to maintain communication with the compromised system. This stage comes after a successful exploitation. In the exploitation phase, the attacker takes advantage of a vulnerability such as a malicious attachment being opened to execute their backdoor or payload on the victim's system. But the exploitation stage happens after the weaponization and the delivery process. So with respect to the question, our answer is option B, the weaponization stage. This is where the attacker creates the weaponized payload and sends via email to the employees. Question 3. In this form of encryption algorithm, every individual block contains 64-bit data and 3 keys are used, where each key consists of 56 bits. Which is the encryption algorithm? A. IDEA. B. Triple Data Encryption Standard. C. AES. D. MD5 encryption algorithm. IDEA was widely used in early encryption applications like PGP, which is pretty good privacy, due to its strong resistance to cryptanalysis. However, the IDEA method does not use the triple encryption method or 56-bit keys as described in the scenario we have in the question. Triple data encryption standard operates on 64-bit data blocks just like its predecessor, and it also uses 3 56-bit keys totaling 168 bits for encryption. This provides enhanced security compared to the original DES algorithm. The triple data encryption standard also applies the DES algorithm 3 times. So it encrypts, decrypts, and then encrypts again, which makes the name triple DES. AES is the current industry standard for encryption, and it is widely used in secure communication storage, secure communications, storage, and financial systems due to its speed and strong security. MD5 is used to verify file integrity or as part of password storage systems. However, it is not suitable for encryption due to its lack of reversibility and security issues. So with respect to the question, the correct option will be option B. The triple data encryption standard contains 64-bit data, 3 keys are used, and each of the key consists of 56 bits. Question 4. Mark, a hacker, infiltrates an organization's network, remains undetected for an extended period, and steals sensitive information without causing damage. What type of attack is this? A. Insider threats. B. Diversion theft. C. Spear phishing sites. D. Advanced persistent threats. Insider threats involves someone within the organization, which is usually an employee or a contractor, misusing their access to harm the organization. In the scenario we have, Mark is an external professional hacker, not an insider, so option A is not our answer. In option B, diversion theft refers to physical theft, such as redirecting a shipment or physical asset. However, it does not involve gaining access to a network, so option B is not our answer. Spear phishing is a social engineering tactic where an attacker creates a targeted and deceptive email or website to trick a specific individual into providing sensitive information. Given the scenario we have, spear phishing is not our answer. Let's take a look at option D. An advanced persistent threat is a sophisticated targeted attack where an attacker gains unauthorized access to a network and remains undetected for an extended period of time. Their goal is to steal sensitive data rather than cause immediate damage. Now, in the scenario we have, the attacker stays within the network undetected, and instead of sabotaging the system, the attacker collects sensitive information, and this could be intellectual property, financial data, or personal information. So this option best fits the scenario we have. The answer is advanced persistent threats. Question 5. Which wireless security protocol allows 192 bits minimum strength security protocols and cryptographic tools to protect sensitive data such as GCMP256, HMAC SHA-384, and ECDSA using a 384-bit elliptic curve? A. WPA3 Personal. B. WPA3 Enterprise. C. WPA2 Enterprise. D. WPA2 Personal. While WPA3 Personal is more secure than WPA2, it uses a 128-bit encryption rather than the 192-bit minimum strength of WPA3. The WPA3 Enterprise is the wireless security protocol that provides enhanced security features, and it includes a 192-bit minimum security strength to protect sensitive data. It incorporates advanced cryptographic tools like the GCMP 256, the ECDSA with a 384-bit elliptic curve, and the HMAC SHA-384. In option C, although WPA2 Enterprise offers good security, it lacks the 192-bit minimum encryption strength and modern cryptographic tools like the GCMP 256. And in option D, WPA2 Personal is a protocol that is intended for home and small business use, and it has a weaker security compared to WPA3 protocols. So, with respect to the options, our answer is the WPA3 Enterprise. It uses a 192-bit minimum security strength to protect sensitive data. Question 6. What are common files on a web server that can be misconfigured and provide useful information for a hacker, such as verbose error messages? A. httpd.conf. B. administration.config. C. php.ini. D. idq.dll. The httpd.conf file configures the Apache web server. Now, while this is critical, it doesn't directly display verbose error messages that could provide useful information. Administration.config is not a standard file used in web server configurations, so it is unlikely to appear unless it is a part of a custom or third-party application. The php.ini file is a configuration file for PHP, and it is widely used for scripting language in web development. If it is improperly configured, it can expose sensitive information to attackers, such as verbose error messages. The idq.dll is associated with Microsoft's Index Server and its extensions. Now, while it has had its vulnerabilities in the past, it is not commonly used to display error messages. So our answer here is option C, the php.ini. Question 7. Gerard targets Sunglass IT Solutions and uses DNS footprinting to gather DNS servers, domains, IPs, and whois records for attacks. Which tool did he use? A. Tailroot. B. Native. C. Zanti. D. Bluetooth. Tailroot is a tool for rooting Android devices, but it is not related to network information gathering. Native is a platform for deploying applications. It is not a penetration tool. Zanti is a penetration testing toolkit for mobile devices, but it is not specifically used for DNS footprinting or the kind of detailed DNS information gathering that we have in the scenario. Bluetooth is a tool that is specifically designed for DNS footprinting, and it can gather detailed information about DNS servers, domain names, IP addresses, and whois records. So this option, option D, best fits the description we have in this scenario. This makes it the correct tool that was used by Gerard for gathering network information in preparation for further attacks. Question 8. John is investigating web application firewall logs and observes that someone is trying to inject the following code. Which type of attack is this? A. SQL injection. B. Buffer overflow. C. CSRF. D. XSS. SQL injection involves injecting malicious SQL statements to manipulate a database. The code we have here does not include any SQL operations. A buffer overflow attack occurs when an application writes more data to a buffer, such as an array, which we have here, than it can hold, and this can overwrite adjacent memory. In this code that we have, the buffer buff is declared with a size of 10, meaning that valid indices ranges from buff 0 to buff 9. Writing to buff 10 exceeds the allocated memory for the buffer, potentially overwriting adjacent memory. This type of vulnerability can be exploited to execute malicious code or cause unexpected application behavior. The CSRF, or cross-site request forgery, exploits a user's authenticated session to perform unauthorized action. The code we have here is unrelated to web sessions or cross-site request forgery. In option D, XSS or cross-site scripting involves injecting malicious scripts into a web page, which is executed in the context of a user's browser. But this code that we have here does not involve web scripts. So our answer here, this type of attack, is option B, a buffer overflow. Question 9. Jane, an ethical hacker, copies a website locally to analyze its directory structure, files, and links. What attack technique is she using? A. Session hijacking. B. Website mirroring. C. Website defacement. D. Web cache poisoning. Session hijacking involves stealing a user's session token to impersonate them, but this is unrelated to copying a website, which we have in this scenario. Website mirroring involves copying an entire website and its content to a local system for analysis. Ethical hackers usually use this technique to examine the site's directory structure, file organization, external links, images, and web page. Website defacement refers to altering the content of a website to display unauthorized or malicious messages, but it does not involve copying the website. Web cache poisoning involves injecting malicious content into a web cache to serve altered data to users, but it does not involve mirroring. So the best option that describes the technique we have in the scenario is option B, website mirroring. There are various tools that are used for website mirroring, like the httrack or wget. Question 10. Ashley, a security professional, uses a tool to monitor her company's website, analyze the website's traffic, and track the geographical location of the users visiting the company's website. Which of the following tools did Ashley employ in the above scenario? A. Webroot. B. WebStats. C. Website Watcher. D. WASWOOF. Webroot is a security tool focused on antivirus and malware protection, but not for website traffic analysis. WebStats is a tool that is used to monitor website traffic and track geographical locations of website visitors. It provides insights such as the traffic sources, user behavior, and the geographic location of visitors, and this matches the scenario we have described. So our answer is likely option B, but let's take a look at the other options. Website Watcher is a tool that is used for monitoring website changes such as content updates, but it does not track user traffic or their geographical locations. WASWOOF is a tool that is used to identify and fingerprint web application firewalls, but it is not used for monitoring traffic or user location. So our answer is option B, the WebStats tool. Question 11. Robin, a hacker, plugs in a rogue switch with a lower priority to become the root bridge and sniff all network traffic. What is the attack called? A. ARP spoofing attack. B. STP attack. C. DNS poisoning attack. D. VLAN hopping attack. ARP spoofing involves sending fake ARP messages to associate the attacker's MAC address with the victim's IP address, thereby allowing the attacker to intercept traffic. But this is not the attack we have in the scenario here. Robin is exploiting the spanning tree protocol, which is used in networks to prevent loops by creating a loop-free logical topology. By introducing a rogue switch with a lower priority, Robin can manipulate the STP process to make his switch the root bridge of the network. Once the rogue switch is the root bridge, it can intercept and sniff all network traffic passing through it. This type of attack is called the spanning tree protocol attack, and it is specifically a root bridge spoofing attack. DNS poisoning involves manipulating the DNS cache of a network or server to redirect traffic to malicious websites, but it doesn't apply to the scenario we have. While VLAN hopping involves sending traffic between different VLANs in a way that the network does not intend. This does not involve manipulating the root bridge through STP. So our answer here is option B, the STP attack. Question 12. An attacker utilizes a Wi-Fi pineapple to run an access point with a legitimate-looking SSID for a nearby business in order to capture the wireless password. What kind of attack is this? A. MAC spoofing attack. B. War driving attack. C. Phishing attack. D. Evil twin attack. MAC spoofing attack involves an attacker altering their device's MAC address to impersonate another device on the network. While it is related to network impersonation, it does not involve creating a rogue access point. War driving involves driving around with a device to discover and map wireless networks, but it does not involve setting up a fake access point or capturing passwords. A phishing attack involves tricking users into revealing sensitive information like their login credentials through deceptive emails or password. In this case, the attack is happening through a fake wireless access point. So this is not a phishing attack. An evil twin attack occurs when an attacker sets up a rogue access point with a name or SSID that mimics a legitimate network, thereby tricking users into connecting to it. Now, once the users connect to the rogue access point, the attacker can capture sensitive information such as their login credentials using wireless passwords. In this scenario, the attacker uses a Wi-Fi pineapple, and this is a common tool used for launching evil twin attacks. It creates a fake access point with a legitimate-looking SSID, fooling users into connecting and allowing the attacker to capture the traffic or perform man-in-the-middle attacks. So in this scenario, the attack is option D, an evil twin attack. Question 13. Bob, an attacker, has managed to access a target IoT device. He employed an online tool to gather information related to the model of the IoT device and the certifications granted to it. Which of the following tools did Bob employ to gather the above information? A. FCC ID search. B. Google image search. C. Search.com. D. Earth Explorer. The FCC ID search tool allows individuals to look up information related to the certifications of electronic devices, including Internet of Things devices. The FCC ID is a unique identifier assigned by the Federal Communications Commission to devices that uses radio frequencies to operate, and this includes Internet of Things devices. By searching the FCC ID, Bob could gather information about the model, certifications, and other technical details related to the IoT device. In option B, Google image search is a search engine used to find images related to a specific query, but it wouldn't provide detailed certification or model information for IoT devices. Search.com is a general search engine that can return various types of results, but it is not specifically focused on gathering certification or device model details for IoT devices. Earth Explorer is a tool for assessing satellite and aerial imagery, but it is not used for gathering information about Internet of Things device models. So our answer here is option A, the FCC ID search. Question 14. Joel, a hacker, identifies websites frequently visited by employees, injects a malicious script to redirect users, and download malware. Which technique is Joel using? A. Watering hole attack. B. DNS rebinding attack. C. Marionette attack. D. Clickjacking attack. A watering hole attack is a strategy where the attacker targets a specific group of individuals by compromising websites they frequently visit. Now, what the attacker does is that they inject a malicious code into this website, and when a member of the targeted group visits the infected website, the malicious script can execute, redirect users, or even download malware onto their devices. In option B, DNS rebinding attack involves manipulating DNS responses to bypass the same origin policy in web browsers, thereby allowing malicious access to local networks. In option D, marionette attack is not a recognized standard attack technique in cybersecurity. And in option D, clickjacking attack involves tricking a user into clicking on something different from what they think they are clicking on, typically by hiding the malicious element under a legitimate button. However, it is not related to injecting scripts on websites visited by the victim. So, the option that best describes the technique being used in this scenario is option A, the watering hole attack. Question 15. John wants to send Maurice an email that includes sensitive information and he does not trust the network that he is connected to. Maurice gives him the idea of using PGP. What should John do to communicate correctly using this type of encryption? A. Use his own private key to encrypt the message. B. Use his own public key to encrypt the message. C. Use Maurice's private key to encrypt the message. D. Use Maurice's public key to encrypt the message. PGP, or Pretty Good Privacy, is a public key encryption system. In this system, Maurice's public key is used by John to encrypt the message because this will ensure that only Maurice can decrypt it using her private key. John's private key is not involved in encrypting the message. It is only used to decrypt any message that he receives. So by using Maurice's public key, John will ensure that only Maurice, who possesses the corresponding private key, will be able to decrypt and read the sensitive information. So our answer here is option D. In order to ensure that the communication goes correctly, the type of encryption that John should use is Maurice's public key to encrypt the message, because Maurice has the private key that will be required to decrypt the message. This brings us to the end of the video for the Certified Ethical Hacker. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and also hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified when our next video will be dropping. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.